Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fragrance Banter podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve.
And we're two friends. Normally, we're doing fragrance reviews and talking about fragrance-related things. But today, we're going to talk about life a little bit and the importance of fragrance in life.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We've both had a week where we've sort of we've been a bit pensive about fragrances, haven't we? So we were chatting about it. And you were like, well, why don't we talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah, I feel like the majority of our conversations could just be recorded as podcast episodes.
Yeah, true. That is true. I've got, two things I want to ask you. I'm going to ask you my friend question of the week, but also I feel like I've not asked you about how you're doing health-wise, mental health, physical health. How are we doing this week? You know, what's been going on? Getting back in the gym, getting back in the fitness, losing weight? Are you back on that? Or is life taken over? How's the headspace?
Yeah, okay, so I'll leave the headspace for our topic of today's podcast, but I will talk about physical health, and that is on a great incline. I'm doing fantastic on my...
Awesome.
Yes. I don't know if it's because I don't have much of an appetite, but I'm not eating as much, and I am walking every day. I'm strength training my wrists, so I'm doing different grip push-ups.
Right. I'm going to resist a joke about strength training your wrists. I'm going to resist that based on a message that we've had this week, which we'll come to. But yeah, okay, so you're doing push-ups, right?
Yes. So I'm doing different grip push-ups to strengthen my wrist because I'm getting into a boxing gym.
I thought you was going to say getting into a boxing tournament or boxing match or something. I was like, shit, no.
No.
Okay, but you get into a boxing gym,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah, just to, learn a little bit of it and have a little fun with it. So I've been doing that, and then I've been hitting the weight room literally every single day. So I've been killing it. Man. Yeah.
That sounds really good. I'm proud of you, man. Are you looking at the scales, or are you just mainly thinking because the thing is, when you start building muscle, obviously it's a bit of a balance, but are you looking, how are you judging your progress? Are you doing it through numbers or appearance, feel?
A little bit of everything.
Okay, cool.
I get on the scale once a week. I get on Monday mornings. Now we're recording Sunday night. So tomorrow I will be checking in to see the progress of this week. But yeah, I don't like to use the scale. I think that, like you were just kind of saying, it's a little bit misleading if you're doing completely, if you're recompositioning your body.
Yeah.
To where you're adding muscle, but also losing fat. Because there's been times where I've lost a lot of fat, but gained muscle at the same time as like a gym newbie, to where I was looking great, but you would look at the scale and think you're on a plateau. But you're not. So
no, that's a fair. This is the thing. I listen to other podcasts where they talk about health and that, and it's so important to, as with anything, not obsess over it, but sort of deal with it in a healthy way. Because that's the thing. You could then, your physical health could become a mental health problem because you start getting obsessive over it, and if you have a bad day or you go off the rails a bit, you can then knock your mental health, and then you can spiral. So it's, again, as with anything, it's kind of, as long as you're in the right space and you're judging your progress, appropriately. So that's cool. Some people don't avoid scale. Some people do it once a week. And one of my friends, he's got into running and he's trying to lose a lot of weight. He's set himself like 52 pounds in 52 weeks. So basically for a year, he wants to average a pound a week. He's doing quite well. I think I don't know if he's like 18 or 20 weeks in, and he's just behind sort of that. He's lost about 16 or 17 pounds. So he's doing quite well. But he was saying that recently in a video that he found that checking his weight, it was just upsetting him. It was annoying him because it was fluctuating a lot, as it does. Because, the trend is it, can go down or go up or whatever. It fluctuates loads. So if you get it on the day or that time when it's fluctuating up, it can skew so you almost need to, so he's decided he's going to just weigh himself once a month so he can then see the trend of it. So it's funny that actually, because in many ways you either want to do it like a lot or not a lot. Because again, if you're doing it loads, like I was when I was for my holiday, I was just weighing myself every morning, and then you can still see the trend, because some days it'd go up and the next days go down, where again, if you do it once a week and then that one time it's a bit of a fluctuation, you're carrying a bit too much water, it then skews it, and you're like, oh fucking hell, I've had a really good week and now I'm deflated and frustrated with the whole thing. So
yeah, well, I mean, that could definitely happen for me, because me and my kids will normally go out on Sundays and we'll have the burgers and the French fries and stuff like that. And I've been eating clean all week, so I may have burgers, French fries, and ice cream on Sunday. And if I've got a burger and French fries, I'm going to hit. Oh, you already finished the Rubik's Cube. Damn, that's early on into the episode.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. Sorry, I said to Mike, we were chatting just before we started recording. And there's a Rubik's Cube on my desk, and I was like, I'm gonna solve this while we do the podcast. And he's like, okay. Then I said, trouble is, it might be a bit noisy, but so I might have looked a little bit distracted there, Mike, but I was listening. But
no,
yeah,
so
I've just finished. Anyway,
I'm not going to tell you what it looked like you were doing because again, we've had someone writing in. But no, if I have a burger and French fries or chips, as you guys call them, that's a lot of sodium. So I could be holding a ton of water and my weight could be up. So I don't want to continuously look at the scale when I can visibly see changes in my body happening. You're not going to see that every day. You're not going to wake up and look in the mirror and go, wow, I see more definition every single day. But if I set up my life to where I go, my win is I ate within my calories. I did my walk in the morning. I did my lifts when I was supposed to. I won that day. I don't care what the 100%. Scale says the next day.
And then also you're feeling better. That's the thing. It's like you feel so much better. Like I went for a run tonight. I did 5K yesterday, 12K tonight. But you do just feel so, well, I say that I feel knackered, but you just feel so much better for it. And again, it's good for headspace. I just think it's great. You just feel so much better about everything with a bit of exercise. It really affects my mood when I don't exercise for a while. If I go a few days,
God,
I don't know if it's body dysmorphia, but I'm also like, I just get like I feel sluggish. I feel slow. I feel shit. I don't know. It's just, and then you almost go off the rails and start eating junk more because I'm like, oh, what's the point? But before we start sounding all moody and miserable, I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased that you're kind of back on it. And that's really, I can't wait to see some more topless photos of you in the Patreon. I mean, if that doesn't give anybody incentive to become a member of the Patreon, I don't know what does. I'm going to ask you my friend question of the week, Mike. And you'll be pleased to hear it doesn't involve any genitalia this week.
Good.
It's a nice simple one, this one. I'd like to know, I mean, you sent me a photo of a very nice looking meal that you had this week with your fancy gold cutlery. So right. I'd like to know, what would be your last meal? So, your last supper, your last meal. I don't want to, again, go dark or macabre, but if you're on death row, you got your last meal, what you having? And let's do 3 courses. Okay. What you having? Starter, main, dessert.
Ooh. Okay. I'll go fried pickles and homemade ranch for a starter.
Okay.
Followed by fried chicken and biscuits, some honey, like some habanero type honey, some spicy honey. Okay. And then for dessert, chocolate chip cookies and milk. And that's it.
I love you just reverted to like little 10-year-old Mike there with some chocolate chip cookies and milk. I love that.
Isn't that where we go though, to our comfort spot?
Yeah, too right.
When it comes to that.
Yeah, I love it. That's all good shouts. I guess like with the honey, is it like a honey-based sauce or a honey glaze or something like that, is it?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys do this with fried chicken. In the South, we will actually have honey fried chicken, and that's where they'll fry the chicken, but then there's some sort of spicy honey that's drizzled over it. It's not really a glaze, but it does add something to it, and if it's not drizzled on, then they just give it to you and you squirt it on your plate and dip it, and it's that sweet heat with the crunch. It's insane. I love it.
That sounds good. I would happily join you for that meal.
You'd have to. It'd be my last one.
Yeah, too right, man. For me, I'm going to say I do like a calamari as a starter. So it'd either be that or, this sounds so middle class, but baked camembert. I love, I don't know if you guys,
I don't even know what
probably
that
not. So camembert is like a French cheese, and it comes in like a little sort of circular shape, and you can get it like a little dish that it gets baked in. So basically, it's a bit like a cheese fondue. It goes all gooey. You sort of cut the top off, and it's proper gooey. So you can get some really nice white, soft, crusty bread or something like that, and dip it into the sort of gooey camembert cheese. It's fucking lovely. So I'd either do that or calamari. Which is squid rings. So that would be my starter. For main, I'd keep it simple. I'd either go for a steak like rare. I always have mine rare with fries. I don't know, that seems really basic, but I do love a good steak. But again, this sounds even more basic, certainly a lot less middle class than the baked camembert. But you know what I fucking love? It's just a really good cheeseburger. Just like a really good cheeseburger. Like when it's really well done. Fucking love it. Again, with some fries or something. And then I'd go chocolate brownie for a dessert or pudding. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, do you guys have bread pudding over there?
We do. I think
God,
I feel like I sort of want to say we invented it, but I can't say that with confidence. I feel like
you guys probably did. That seems like something that'd come from over there. But
yeah, my mum used to make it certainly when I was a kid. So I'm Googling it now. Bread pudding. Let's see. Is there a wiki page? Is it popular? Yes, it says it's British. It's a popular bread-based British dessert. There you go.
That seems right.
I'll take that. Yeah, because you use stale bread. So I think it was a lot of, again, like a working class thing, or possibly after, I don't know, the war and some shit. But they basically, rather than wasting food, the stale bread, they would cook it and make it into bread pudding. But
there we go.
There we go. Right. Should we get into the episode reel? Now we're like fucking 15 minutes in.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah.
So you originally suggested this. You said you wanted the title of this episode to be "Do Fragrances Even Fucking Matter?" So you've clearly had a week where you've sort of been questioning this, let's be honest, ridiculous hobby that we have. And by a hobby, I mean the fragrances and collecting and smelling. I'm not talking about the podcasting, because this is just two friends catching up, but not best friends, but friends. Exactly. So what's caused this? Why did you want to name the episode thusly?
Yeah, because I was just thinking, I still haven't even gotten my fragrances from the marital house, as they call it. So I have Louis Vuitton's Imagination over here, and I've got Luna Rossa Carbon. And I have been wearing those every day. And other than that, I don't even think about it. Sometimes I forget to wear them. Sometimes I forget to wear deodorant. Okay. This is how in my life right now, I don't know how to say it other than I'm going through the deepest heartache I've ever gone through. And I feel like I'm getting my ass kicked every single day to where emotionally,
right, yeah.
I'm still like making it through, like getting my work done. I'm still like putting on a smile and pretending I'm cool with everybody. Like I'm getting through all that. And I just look at some of the bigger things. You and I have had conversations, and sometimes I'm like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I love to smell good. I love smelling new things. But when the shit actually hits the fan, when life is actually crazy, unless you're in the industry, is it really that big of a deal?
I mean, it's a perfectly valid question. I mean, two things I want to base that. One, I feel bad and annoyed that if you've had that week and you're feeling like that each day, that you've not reached out to me more this week. You should have done. So one, I feel bad that I should have been reaching out to you. And two, I think you're a fucking arsehole for not reaching out to me. So I'm also blaming you. I'm not taking the whole responsibility for us not talking enough this week. Because I've sent you numerous monologue messages this week, and you've sent fuck all back other than a picture of your meal. So if you've been feeling like that, I'm annoyed. How am I supposed to be a best friend if you're not going to reach out to me in those situations? So I'm pissed off with both of us in that sense. But aside from that, I think the thing is that I also take from that is, I guess the question I'm going to ask you is, when you are feeling like battered, emotionally low like that, I guess the point is, fragrances aren't the thing that you turn to, or they're not the thing that put a smile on your face or happy. Like, again, it's not saying that you don't enjoy them when you're in the right frame of mind, but it's not something that So what, in those situations, what does make you happy? What does make you feel better?
Well,
and it's not fragrances, is it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if I had them, I would go smell them. But my mindset, I don't even know if I had them all here, if I would walk to the closet, which is where I have like the place for them to go now is in my closet space. I don't know if I'd go there because whenever I start feeling really low and like really anxious or really sad or something, I have to like get up and move my body. So I will go walk, or I may just go like, if I'm feeling really tight chested, I'll go lift heavy weights. To me, that's like the only way I can like push that sort of sensation out of my body. I don't know what it is, but when my chest feels like really tight and I'm like,
makes sense.
I'm going to like go try to fight with something, heavyweights wise, not an actual person. So that's what I kind of do. I'm like, okay, like I need to, I forget the exact saying, but it's something like we treat the body vigorously so that it doesn't betray the mind or something like that. And, and so it's like something like, and there's another one that says you don't outthink a mental problem. Like you can't outthink a mental problem. You've got to like move your body. So it's like you can't control a broken mind with your mind. You control it with your body. So I've been trying to, anytime I get into like a really negative headspace, I try to do something physical. And somehow, if it's during the day, I will like, as some sort of weird Zen garden thing. I have the new yard now. So I'll go out and all the like little weeds and sticker burrs that are growing up in the yard, I will walk and just I'll like literally walk inch by inch in my yard and just pick those. And as like a pruning, it's like takes my mind off of something. I'm focusing on that. I'm getting sunlight. I do stuff like that. If it's later at night, then I just drive to the gym and lift as heavy as possible.
Yeah, the thing is, I have different mechanisms for different things. So, like when I'm feeling, because I remember, like actually, someone gave me this tip, like because you often get asked this in an interview, how do you deal with stress? Like pressure and stress are two different things. So, stress is something that you should be doing something that either removes stress or gives you happy, like exercise and stuff like that. But so when I'm feeling like stressed and fed up, like you say, exercise or gym is brilliant. I love that. But then sometimes, and this is what I can relate to you, is when you're feeling not physically low, not mentally low, such like emotionally low, like when you feel emotionally drained. Sometimes when I'm like that, I just need sleep. I just know I'll feel better in the morning. I had this, I can't remember recently. I can't know if it's like last week. I think it was just a long ass day. Work was kind of annoying me. The kids were like annoying me. And it was just like one of those days where it's just like I felt emotionally like drained, and I was just like, and I kept, again, I was almost risking of overthinking it. I just thought, you know what, I just need to go to bed and I'll just feel better in the morning. I just need sleep. I'm really tired. And that just really helped. But yeah, I mean, when stuff like this happens, it does make you rethink, reprioritize. Like I've said this is why I've got a large collection of fragrances, but obviously I've sold a lot. I try and rotate them if I've had them a while. If I get a bit bored, I just set them on, and sometimes I regret it. Sometimes there's fragrances I think I wish I keep, but I find that cathartic. But then also every now and again I'll just have this moment where I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. This hobby's stupid. Like, you look at all the fragrance in yourself, it's like, do I need all of these fragrances? Like, I've got like kids that need shit. I've got bills to pay. Do you know what I mean? I'm spending money on, I only need, like we've discussed previously, a handful of fragrances at most. Most people only have one. So why do I need all these? So every now and again I will have a clear out, and I feel sort of it's quite a cathartic thing. And I felt that a little. Sorry, go on.
Oh, you're good. I've made it 3 months with 2 fragrances. So
there you go. You've proved the point. So when I stopped doing long form YouTube videos, like that was really cathartic as well, because I discovered my favourite fragrance of all time. Le Labo's another 13, and I had a load of other fragrances just to mix in, but I was wearing that so much, and it almost felt like I'd completed it. I'd completed fragrances. It was a video game. It's like, right, completed. I found the one. I've got others that I like. I've got, and it was quite a lift. I didn't have to, and sort of almost been sucked back in a little bit. And sometimes it's because I've started doing YouTube again. I've sort of just doing the shorts and things, and obviously doing this. But it does make you rethink it. And every now and again, I do think this is fucking stupid.
I think there's like, because you and I probably are very utilitarian with fragrances, and then there's other people that see it more as art. So there's not like an art collector out there that gets one holy grail piece of art, puts it up in the house and goes, I'll never need to look at another piece of art again. I'll never need to purchase another piece of art, you know. But you and I, we go, this is to serve a purpose. This is to speak to my personality. This is to help me communicate. I'm using it as a tool, whatever. So we're like looking at fragrances and appreciating them, like the quality of them, but it's almost like the quality of a vehicle or the quality of a really great pencil or whatever it may be. We're finding that one that works really well for us. It's like, oh, we'll use multiple, but it's not the same as like some that may go like, oh, I'm appreciating the nuances of this as an experience, you know?
Well, I think the challenge we have is we fit into the sort of the two camps, and we're kind of, well, there's probably three camps, but particularly in the fragrance community and some of the circles in which we mix, you've got some people that fragrance is their job, you know, it's what they do. Right. So, you know, like Chris from the channel Fragmental, for example, that's his job. Obviously, he loves fragrances. He's really passionate, enjoys them, but, you know, that is literally his job. He does it for a living. So, and then you've got other people that like have fragrance, they're into fragrances. Again, they really appreciate the real art of it. And they don't, like Dan Rothschild, the fragrance weirdo, obviously he, you know, he openly admit he makes money from fragrances from his obviously different businesses like Sona and Insider and stuff like that. But Soma, sorry. But, you know, he really looks into the real geeky art of it.
Right.
Exactly. Where you and I are kind of not so much into the art, and we're not so much, it's not like a business for us. We're not like, you know, smashing out content. It's just, you know, it's my job day in, day out. So we're sort of floating that sort of hobbyists. And it's kind of like, and the trouble is we're surrounded by people that aren't hobbyists. So there's loads of people that are, and a lot of people listening to this would be hobbyists, but we're in circles where people aren't hobbyists. And that's where it's like, you start kind of going, oh, it's this. So I went to that fragrance event this week in London, like this niche fragrance event, and Chris was there, Tony, Fragdicted, Barry, Essentializing. It was great meeting up with those guys. We had lunch and we really missed you.
Missed you.
But I felt a little bit, the old imposter syndrome kicked in quite a bit as well. And I don't want to sound like a whiny little bitch, but again, because those guys have got all of these followers and they're talking to people and, you know, about collaborations and all this sort of stuff. And that's not me. I'm not that guy. And obviously a lot of people on the stands, they wanted to speak to people, content creators that will, you know, from a marketing, you know, can really push the brand. And again, I've not got the numbers to sort of do that. So they're not, with the greatest respect, nobody was rude, but nobody's really interested. I just felt like, I like smelling stuff, but I sort of feel like I shouldn't be here. I didn't even get an actual ticket. I got in again, and sort of Chris got me in as per usual, bless him. So thank you, shout out to Chris. But yeah, you know, granted, I did apply quite late because I didn't realise I had to freaking even, you know, apply for a ticket, but I didn't even get a response. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so the old imposter syndrome kicked in. So again, I can relate to you in the sense that like, I don't know, this is the thing. Perhaps if we weren't in those circles, I don't know.
Yeah, I think right now I'm at a place where I want to appreciate the art. You know, they say never be the smartest person in the room. When it comes to fragrances, I'm never the smartest person in the room, which is great. And I enjoy it. And that's what I love about Essence, because I go and I will see these people that are so passionate about it. And it does stir something up in me that it just typically isn't there. Like I want it to be there, but I can't like sift through and figure the things out. At times I really try and I enjoy that process. But the day to day, when the world has got me in a chokehold, I am not like filtering through like the differences between sandalwood and this type of vetiver. And like, I just am not there, and that's okay. Like I like where I'm at, but again, like life, for whatever reason, I am in this crucible and I'm being purified. You know, it's like, I try to say in my mind every morning, like I will always be better than I was. So like I will always be better today than I was yesterday. and I'll always be better tomorrow than I am today. That's what I'm striving for. And so I'm pushing really hard. I try to do that with my relationships. I try to do that with my work, everything. And just right now, I've started, I feel like completely over. Like I basically went from relationships, friendships, job, house, location, identity to having not none of that, but a starting over completely, with everything, starting completely over. And that's, to me, that was really hard because I had spent a lot of time and efforts really trying to get established and really trying to be, because when people will go like, what is your purpose? What are you put on earth to do? Like, what is your greatest? And like in my mind, I think the thing that, and it could be childhood trauma, I don't know, but the thing that I really want out of life is to have really strong relationships, is to be a great parent, and to be all around a positive influence. I don't like have like massive goals to have some huge career or empire or anything like that. I'm perfectly fine with just making enough to have the time available to love on people and be loved by people. And kind of starting from scratch on that again has been a kick in the genitalia.
Well, that's lovely. But I think the thing is you do have that effect. Obviously, like you start questioning things, you reset. So you've gone back to sort of, a sort of drawing board in many ways. But you do have such a positive impact on everybody. I mean, Jesus Christ, you look at all the patrons in the group, how much they've kind of got your back and they're wanting to support you and stuff. And it's like, and this is the thing with you don't do, and this is where both, you don't do anything in half measures. So with your relationships and stuff, you don't hold back, you give it your all. Yeah. And I think that's really one of your best traits. So I think you're doing that. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't think you should let your current situation, put that in doubt or question that. I think it just is that what it is, and I think you are doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying my best not to. It's more like I know that the future is bright, but right now is really fucking hard. Like it's just it's hard, and I know I'm in the middle of that like montage in Rocky where like I'm doing the push-ups and I'm pulling the stones and like you're doing that whole thing. But in movies, it's like fast forwarded. They put 6 months of extreme effort and heartache and, like self-destruction into, whatever, a 2-minute sequence set to some, bitchin' music. And then it's like, oh, that's cool, but in real life, it's grueling.
The grind, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is, what you're doing so well, and it's so admirable. You're doing it all the right way. You're being quite realistic. You've done, how you're kind of dealing with everything and processing it, I think is you're doing it in the right way. So I think it will come good. It's like, it's always going to be, the shit bit to kind of get through it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to think of a really nice kind of metaphor other than, you've got to break some eggs to make an omelette and all that shit, because that's really shit metaphor. But it is like that, isn't it? You've got to just kind of. It's an analogy someone said to me about is I think it's like lawn. If you want like a really good lawn, like a really good grassed lawn, you've basically, there's so much effort, but you've got to like scarify it and turn it, and you fucking destroy the fucking thing before it actually comes good, so it can actually grow back stronger and it's like thicker, and that's basically what it is. You're fucking scarifying, you're fucking rotivating it and all that sort of stuff, aren't you? You're just turning everything over at the minute, and then you're just going to start getting through that now to where it starts settled, and then it's going to start growing and coming good. So with this, it's, when they're looking for cracks in the shell of an egg to see if it's sturdy and it's going out, they shine a light on it. And I think that's kind of what's happening with me right now. Like there's a very strong light
I'm kind of looking for weak points and little hairline fractures and stuff like that, to that where I can kind of build back stronger. Because if I'm going to start over, I might as well just dust the slate off and like really give it a good go. So I try, like, as far as I can, I try to read, meditate, and journal every day. And I've been pretty consistent about that for the last week and a half. So I'm just going to keep that up as just more of like self-development, self-discovery. Like I'm really trying to put the effort in to allow this time to be a pruning process and for me to come out as a better human.
I think that's really admirable, because again, I think what's nice about the whole situation is, well, it's not nice, but what's good is you've, as I said to you before, you've taken responsibility, you've dealt with it, and you've accepted the stuff. You've not been, you've not swerved it. You've not kind of shirked your responsibilities or, what you need to do. So I think you've just took it face sort of head on, and you're dealing with it. And obviously the trouble is doing it that way is you are going to get fucking battered. Like you're going head on into the storm and you're going to fucking get battered, but you will get through it, and it will kind of, make you stronger and all that. So I think it's, I think you're doing the right thing. But to answer the questions, are fragrances fucking worth it? Probably not. But
I mean, if the house is burning down, you're not going to pick them over like a living creature, You got to make sure you get out of the house and you're unscathed. But it's like, if I'm running out of the house and Luna Russa Carbon's like on the nightstand, I might, stuff it in my pocket or something. If not, I can spend $65 and get another bottle. Other than that, when they show up, I do want to smell them. I do want to celebrate, the fragrant life when I can. But if I'm getting a beat down, it's kind of the last thing on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I'm the same. And this is the thing. I think the trouble is, as much as I love Essence and catching up with the boys and everything like that, like, as I say, because we're like, like the in-betweeners, obviously, we sort of go straight through the middle there, and since we're not industry, it's not our jobs, but we're not like high-end influencers, we're just like hobbyists. So right. The trouble is, with a lot of these things, it can push you to sort of one of either ways. It's the same with anything. When you see, when you get surrounded by people that this is kind of what they do, it's like, I remember, I've got lots of hobbies in my life, like snowboarding, I've done karate, stand-up comedy, and salsa, Cuban salsa and things. But like, it's the same when I see like a really good comedian, or I remember when I went to a salsa event like over a weekend and things, and you see these people that are experts in it, or this is what they do, and it's just phenomenal. And it kind of pushes me one of two ways, because I remember watching this Cuban guy who was an instructor, and he was phenomenal dancer, just phenomenal. And I've had this watching some stand-up comedians like on the circuit. I've been out and I've watched people, when I've gigged with them, and it pushes me in two ways, because part of me goes, that's fucking amazing, man, I want to do that, I want to be that good, that inspires me, that motivates me, that's like, fucking look at that is amazing, I want to be that guy, how can I do it like that? Yeah. But then the flip side of it is I go, what's the fucking point? I'm never going to be that good. Why am I even wasting my time? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I'm never going to be that guy. I'm wasting my fucking time. And it's weird. And then that's the dichotomy of your like emotion and your headspace and where you're at, because it can flip, can't it? Depending on, and also you and I are quite realists. So there's also people that are naive and they'd be like, oh, well, I can do that. And it's like, no, you're never going to be that guy. Let's be realistic. But you can aspire. You can see, setting a realistic aim. You can go, well, I want to be as good as I can be. I can, do part of that, or that thing that he did there. I can. So it is weird, and we're kind of like that. Like I say, and that's what I had with Essence. I went there, and part of me thought, right, this is really motivating me. I want to really commit to the fragrance game and the community and the influencer shit, and try and grow my channel, grow numbers, and not for money. I'm never doing it for money, because I've got, a daytime job that I love that pays well. But I thought part of me really wanted to commit to it. But then also the imposter syndrome and the other side of it, I'm just like, what's the fucking point? Like, I'm never, I've been doing this for all these years, and I've only got a few thousand sort of followers on YouTube, which nobody cares about. So that's
well,
the thing,
those few thousand do.
Yeah, I did have a lovely message actually on TikTok last week where some guy's just like, hey man, I just wanted to let you know that you're one of my sort of favourite people on TikTok. I hope you blow up one day because I really enjoy your content. Keep doing it. And it's like those little things matter. So, and I always say this, like, we're doing loads on, well, it's essentially it's like a mental health episode. And what's quite nice, I'm wearing my Boys Get Sad Too t-shirt, which so this is true. I love this is a brand of clothing. It's called Boys Get Sad, and they donate some of the money from the purchase of any of their clothing into mental health charities, which is cool. But I always say, if you think something nice of somebody, tell them. Don't ever keep it in. There's no good. If you think somebody looks really good in a dress or a shirt, or their hair looks really good, just tell them. Just don't. I'm the same way with apologies as well. I'm like, man, if you realize that, God, I did something and I need to like write that, I normally will go like, okay, I'll at least send a message right now if I can't get them on the phone. Like, oh shit, I did that. And like there was a time where I literally contacted every single one of my ex-girlfriends and apologized for being a shithead in college. Wow. So all two of them. I'm shitting you. Yeah, exactly. No, but again, it's a good thing to do. I think, well, the thing is, you're quite a, considering the challenges you've had growing up, I've said this before. I think I've said it to you, and I've said it to like my wife. Considering what a challenging life you had in your early and developing years, it's amazing you're not more fucked up than you are. I am shocked by it. Like, my sister took a completely different road. I mean, we had the same childhood, and she took a hard left, and I took a hard right, and I'm not really sure what kind of pulled us in those different directions. And I wish that, my sister would have made some different decisions, but I don't know what it is. I think I got it from my grandmother, but like you were kind of saying, when you look at like all these people that in the fragrance community go, God, how do I get to that level? Or you went to like a salsa event, you're like, God, how do I get to that level? I don't know if something's broken in me, but I've just like never cared about being anything, but like, I just really enjoy people, I remember the first Descents, like the most fun I had was behind the camera goofing around for Chris's thing. And it was like, to me, that was a lot of fun. And I've just kind of been like, let's do something and have a good time with it. Let's interact with people. And that's why I love the Patreon, because it's like, those are numbers that really matter. Right now we have 77 people in there that actually, they're not just a number, they're a person, they matter. They're in the community. We're interacting with them. Like, that's a human being. It's harder to do that with a larger audience out on a platform. But with Patreon, it's cool because they're in chats every day, or they can send you private messages, or you may do something and 5 or 10 people may interact with this comment that you said or this thing. And you get to really get to know them. And I think I've loved that the most about the fragrance thing. Like, I really couldn't care less about getting to some huge number. Just because you and I have talked off air about this, but my identity just isn't wrapped up in this whole thing. But when I think about it, where my identity is wrapped up, it's in each individual interaction I have with people. So like, I want to be like some source of encouragement, light, love, whatever you want to call it. I want to be that to the people I'm interacting with. And then someday when I'm laying on my deathbed, I can look back and go, like, I made such an impact on such a vast number of people just by being interested and concerned whenever I interact with anybody. Well, I think, as I say, I don't know. I think you've you've done that and you do that. You make such a good impression on people, and you're such a. I mean, just if you remember the first lessons, you remember that was so cool the first time we met, because it was like I was so super hyped. Like I basically run past Chris and Tony to get to you for our first hug. And that's the thing, true. And that's the impact you have on people, and that's the impact you've had on the Patreons and stuff like that. And that's why they're sort of committed to you really, and this, but it's like you, and they've followed you through this, and they're supporting you, and they sort of really want to. So listen, we've been talking a while, and I'm conscious, this might not be everybody's kind of bag, but a couple of things I sort of want to say, if nothing else from this, it sort of highlights like two things. If you're, and I'm talking to patrons, not the patrons, I'm talking to the listeners and the patrons now, but if you are out there and you are having a tougher time, you're having a bum week, reach out to someone and just say, look, I'm feeling a bit shit, man. I'm a bit low. Like, just to do that. And conversely, which is what Mike should have done this week. Twat. Yeah. And it's true. And also conversely, check in on people. If you're kind of feeling good, doesn't mean everybody else is. So, check in on those people that have been there for you and sort of say, like, how's it going? How's your progress? How are you feeling today? What's been your, check in on people, because it's just sounds that so cliche, but that how are you just makes such a difference at the right time. When someone reaches out and it's unexpected, and they just say like, hey, how are you? How's things? How are you feeling? Or whatever. Like at the right time, that can literally be a lifesaver, so never neglect how powerful that is, like reaching out to people and saying, how are you? That's massive. So yeah, definitely do that. And this is where Mike and I have fell down this week on both. I say I'm not taking whole responsibility for this. This is a shared responsibility.
It's mostly my responsibility, because and other people are like this. So yes, just to double stamp what you were saying, Steve, reach out to people and check on them, because one of the many flaws that I have is I hate to feel like a burden to people. And so I tend to be like, if I'm going to add stress or some sort of thing, like I'm going to just keep it to myself. I don't want to like be a burden. I'm like very conscious about like, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I don't want to be too much for people, so I'm like constantly going like, if I'm overwhelming that person, I need to like, I'm already trying to distance myself, even though they haven't said like, whoa, like you're being too much here. I'm like in my head, I'm always going like, I don't want to be a fucking burden to this person. And so you tend to hold everything in and keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's stupid. I totally get your point. I think everybody's got that. Nobody wants to kind of be, and with the right person, and if somebody actually thinks you're a burden, and again, this is not addressed at you, Mike, but in general, if somebody thinks you're a burden, then they're not worth your time anyway, are they? They're not a friend. They're not, if you reach out to someone and if you kind of get the vibe that they think you're a burden, they can't be asked with you, then they're not a friend. And this is the thing. I've had this situation with so many people in my life where I've thought they were friends, but they weren't actually, when it mattered, or when you think, they've just, and then I just remove them from my life. I'm just like, I'm not going to, why am I wasting my time? Where you sort of try to be a friend to them, and it's a one-way road. So like, fuck them. And it's, it's important. And again, linked to that fragrance community, because I've had loads of grief in the community, from like odor jerks or whatever what did they used to be called? And, you get loads of comments and, what are they called? The fragrance jerks, wasn't it? Yeah. And stuff like that. And I always say, and obviously comments on YouTube videos, it's like, I always think only the people you care about should be able to hurt your feelings, should be able, you should not give a shit about the people you don't care about. Don't give a fuck, they shouldn't be able to hurt you.
They shouldn't. I try and
stand by that.
But
yeah, it's easier said than done. I'll give you that. It's definitely easier said than done. But that's what I always try and do. I always try and think, don't care about those people, so I shouldn't care if they're saying bad things, because I don't give a fuck. Their opinion doesn't mean anything to me. So
yeah, typically it wouldn't bother me. I think when you're kind of low, you're more susceptible to,
100%.
You know 100%. What I mean? And that's kind of, I mean, if I'm just being honest and transparent, that's where I'm at. Like I'm at the lowest point of my life and I'm like trying to be as positive as possible. I'm working my way through it, but I just feel, I'm struggling a lot with feeling alone, unlovable, those sort of things that come along with, I'm sure if other people have gone through similar situations, if you've gone through like a big breakup or, you know, like some of you people out there, you fell in love with somebody or you were married or whatever the case may be, but then you have this big upset, this big breakup or whatever. You struggle more with what you think about yourself than what you think about the other person.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing is like, it took me, I don't know, probably into my late 20s to start thinking that, you know, that you like to have a lot more self-confidence and be self-assured. I remember I always said this, it's like you particularly as a younger age, you're always trying to prove yourself and trying to make other people happy or make people like you. And they just gets to a point when you get more self-assured. But I remember like, you know, it's sort of learning that you are, like you say, lovable and stuff. I've literally got a tattoo that says "Dignus Amor," which is means worthy of love, and it's yeah. So it's a weird. It's kind of like a double meaning there because also like my wife's name is Amanda is kind of to be loved, so it's kind of like a reversed translation because that can mean worthy of love. So then you back translate it to Latin as well. So, but she's taught me that I'm worthy of love, and that's the thing. And it's like it's like sometimes you sort of start doubting yourself, and it's like that classic thing. I remember like a previous relationship, I would always like someone would pay me a compliment. Like an ex would be like, "Oh, you know, you look nice or whatever," and I'd be like, no, I don't. And they had to teach me to go, no, just take the compliment. Just say, say thank you. And just take it. It's like, don't argue it. If somebody thinks that, you can't say that they don't. You can't question their thinking that. It's their opinion. Yeah. So just take it. Don't question it. Don't challenge it. Just take it. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes. And when you're low like that, like you say, you do just sort of filter out the good and only the bad kind of get through. But yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like I don't have people or friends that are trying to communicate love to me. But for whatever reason, it's like, it's not penetrating. And it's just, man, all I can say is just a really low spot to be. And I'm doing the only things that I know. Well, as you pointed out, I haven't been reaching out, which is a huge mistake.
Very pissed off with you about that because just fucking role reverse that. If I came on here and said I've been the lowest I've been, you would be so fucking annoyed that I didn't reach out to you. Yeah, so
I'd be like off air. I'd be like, man, you're kind of a shithead, Steve.
Exactly. This is the thing, and this is I shouldn't have to reach out to you to check out because we're past that. You tell me when you're feeling that I'm really annoyed. I'm really annoyed about that. But listen, we better start wrapping this up because otherwise it's going to be a fucking long episode and it's not for everyone. But I love you, man, and so do all the listeners and so do the patrons, and we'll get through it and it'll be all good. It's, as I say, it's the shit storm before, but you'll start getting out the other side, and it's perfectly natural as well. That's the thing. It's not what you're experiencing now. You're not the first person to experience it, and
it's true.
You won't be the last. It's so normal, and that's the thing. You're not. Again, in many ways, you're being a bit of a arrogant arsehole thinking that you're special feeling like this because you're not the first. So, get over yourself.
It's true. I was actually talking, it's my dad called me on my birthday, and I was telling him, I said, my last breakup before I got with my wife and eventually got married, my last breakup, it took me nearly a year. So I was very serious about this gal. It took me about a year to get over it. And that was like a year of like no dating, just hitting the gym, focusing on work,
strengthening the wrists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it took me a long time. And then eventually, once I started dating again, I dated my then wife. So I'm like, I'm a fool if I don't think this is going to take at least that long to get back to some sort of normal. My kids, we have them in therapy, and then like occasionally we'll go in and we'll be a part of the session. And she was saying, she's like, expect 2 years. So, I do know that I have a long road ahead of me. I don't want it to be fixed overnight, because I know that if you're going to build a strong and sturdy house, it's going to take a while, so I don't want it to be delicate. I want to build back some rigidity in me emotionally. It's like, I heard somebody talking about like, what is the best relationship advice you've ever been given? And he said, make a list of all the traits that you want in a partner, and then become that person. And so I was like, okay, I made the list. I wrote down like, here's the perfect partner.
Is that why you've got big tits? Sorry, I completely ruined that moment. I couldn't resist. But no,
you're the problem, Steve. You bring it back to anatomical
we're going to
genitalia every time.
No, but that is, I think that is great advice though, like you say. And if that's all you can do is, and the thing is, you're literally striving to be a better person every day, like you said, and that's to quote I think was it Jay-Z who said, I think it was, may the best of your todays be the worst. No, what is it? I've got to get this right way around. The best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. So it's like, you're just getting better and better each day. So
right.
I think I've got that the right way around. But I can't. It's getting late now, and I can't think. That's the thing. Just try and be every day, and just learn from stuff, and that's exactly what you're doing. So don't beat yourself up over it all.
We'll make it through this life all together. Like Steve said, I love you, Patreons. Steve, I love you as well, man. You're like on the edge of just being that best friend of mine. You just...
Oh, it's close. It's close. But I didn't reach out this week, so I've dropped down a few levels. So there we go.
Well, I didn't either. But a best friend would have intuitively known and see.
Just sensed it. Fucking sensed it.
Yeah.
But because it was your birthday week as well, wasn't it? Is that why?
Yeah.
My kids sent you a message. My son sent you a birthday message as well, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to do that. And he kept going, has Mike replied yet? Has he seen it? It was like he was just as needy. My daughter was too embarrassed, bless her. She was too shy.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well,
because you and my daughter are birthday twins.
That's right. Yeah. Just like...
And this is the thing, she couldn't quite get it. I was like, do you want to send Mike a message? Because she's got the same birthday. She's like, what? Why? And then she's like, can you just thank him for me? I was like, no, he's not sent you a present. I was like, it's just, she just couldn't quite get why. Because I think she's used to like, making her say thank you for presents and cards and things. But it was quite funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we try and wrap up before we hit the hour mark?
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to us. Look, if you're not, jump into the Patreon so that you're able to interact. We do have a health chat in there. If you are going through some things and you do want community and you'll take advantage of it, unlike myself, because I'm a stubborn asshole, jump in. And there are people that do care, and I should utilize that more as well. Check that out. If you are a Patreon, be sure to reach out to. If you're going through a similar situation, I know that it helps. Just one message from Barry at the beginning of this really did help my mental state at that time. Just reaching out and just him going like, hey, I've been through a similar thing. If you need me, I'm here. That's sometimes all it takes. Steve, take note. So
prick.
You guys be sure to reach out. And until next time,
Stay healthy
and spray healthy.